Why are Iranian people leaving their southern coast and fleeing? And could the recently assassinated supreme leader of Iran, Ayatollah Khamenei, and his government have a major role behind this? Iran's leader, Ayatollah Khamenei, has unfortunately been assassinated, but on the other hand, another disturbing piece of news is coming from Iran. Nearly 70% of Iran's population may be forced to leave their homes just to survive. Iran's rural landscape is undergoing an unprecedented transformation as whole communities disappear from the map. Living on the coast is no longer just difficult, it is becoming unsafe. This image was taken from space by a NASA astronaut. It shows a disturbing pattern. The coastlines of the Middle East are glowing brightly like a neon necklace, but one stretch is completely dark. Iran, a 3,180-kilometer coastline lying almost empty. Now think about it. Dubai was built on the coast. They erected the Burj Khalifa in the desert. They built Palm Jumeirah, visible even from space. Qatar built Doha on the coast. Bahrain, Kuwait, Abu Dhabi, all transformed their lifeless deserts into thriving economic hubs. Same Gulf, same geography. But why is Iran ignoring its coastline? Look at the world's 10 richest cities. Almost all are either on a coast or along a river. There's a universal economic rule: water equals wealth. Iran has the largest coastline along the Persian Gulf, yet its ports are empty, with little real development. The twist? The Strait of Hormuz is the world's most important trade route. Nearly 20% of global oil passes close to Iran. It controls a major global trade choke point that could economically pressure many nations. Yet Iran has deliberately, strategically ignored it for centuries. Why would a country waste its biggest asset? Some experts say a major role lies in the policies of Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Khamenei. Could this also be a reason behind the growing rebellion among Iranian citizens? Let's go into history. Ekbatana, Persepolis, Istakar, Tehran, Nutikai, 3,000 years of rule. Not a single Iranian empire built its capital on the coast. Power centers were always inland. This was not a coincidence. It was strategy. In 714 BC, King Sargon II was the most powerful ruler in West Asia. His system was brutal: burn cities, block rivers, destroy canals, starve people to death. Many empires fell before him. His next target, the Eurasian Empire near present-day Lake Urmia. Reports came in: greenery everywhere, plenty of people, food and water supply uninterrupted. But something was missing. No visible canals, no rivers. Cities cannot survive without water. Yet this city survived. Then the secret emerged: water hidden underground through qanat systems. Iran's biggest challenge has always been water. Most rivers are in the north. Red areas are deserts. Coastal rivers are seasonal. They flow during rain and dry up. Except for the Caspian Strip, central and southern Iran receive less than 250 millimeters of rainfall per year, even less than half of Rajasthan's rainfall. Surface water was always a weakness. Open canals evaporated. Invaders could poison or block them, so Iran hid its water underground. Qanats carried water through underground tunnels from mountains to cities. This technology began in ancient Iran. Why? Because invasions repeatedly came from the sea. 336 BC, Alexander the Great came from the coast. 651 AD, Arab conquest came from the coast. 1507, Portuguese invasion came from the sea. 1856, British forces came from the sea. A pattern: whoever lives on the coast falls first, but Iran had geographic advantages: the Zagros Mountains in the west, the Alborz Range in the north, the Caspian Sea as a barrier. In the center, two vast deserts, Dasht-e-Kavir and Dasht-e-Lut, natural death traps. Low visibility meant high survivability, so power centers stayed inland. Even today, if you visit Iranian beaches, you may feel uneasy. Compare them to Dubai, Bahrain, or Qatar: jet skis, beach volleyball, tourists. Iran's beaches once looked like that too. Today, many are silent: military posts, restricted areas, constant patrols. Around 60% of northern beaches are controlled by the military or government. Southern coasts have underground and surface military bases. Why such heavy security? Look at the map. Iran is the only powerful Shia country surrounded by Sunni majority nations. Conflicts are frequent. Many countries accuse Iran of exporting instability and terrorism. There is fear that if Iran gains nuclear capability, the Middle East security balance would shift dramatically. Pressure, sanctions, proxy wars all continue. Israel recently targeted major Iranian nuclear facilities with ballistic missile strikes. As a result, Iran lives in constant security mode. Its army and navy are permanently deployed along the coast, but this has severe economic consequences. This month, only 85 ships entered Iranian ports. In comparison, Dubai handles around 80 ships in just 24 hours. Same Gulf, same sea. One country uses the coast for commerce, the other seals it for security. Infrastructure development becomes a security threat. Mega projects in the Middle East, Burj Khalifa, Palm Jumeirah, the Pearl Qatar womb were built with foreign capital and private investment. In most Middle Eastern countries, privatization is 70–80%. In Iran, it is only 10 to 12%. In 1979, after Ayatollah Khomeini came to power, industries, factories, insurance, agriculture, everything was nationalized. GDP fell by 20% within 2 years. In 2006, Article 44 was amended to allow privatization. Officially, it aimed to empower the private sector. In reality, only 5% went to genuine private owners. The rest stayed within government-controlled entities. Iran still lacks a proper public-private partnership, PPP law. Meanwhile, countries like the United Arab Emirates changed laws to allow 100% foreign ownership in selected sectors. Bahrain, Qatar, and Saudi Arabia did the same. Investors were invited. In Iran, files remain. Take Chabahar port. India invested $370 million plus a $250 million credit line, yet it handles only 2.7% of Iran's cargo. At current earnings, it would take 28 years to recover the investment. Iran also faces heavy U.S. sanctions, including secondary sanctions on countries doing business with it. Many global players avoid Iran. Now come back to the present. Why are people leaving the coast? Only 20% of Iran's groundwater is drinkable, mostly in northern and western mountain regions, not the coast. Most fresh water comes from snowmelt and mountain aquifers. Iran experiences around 2,000 earthquakes annually, many along the southern coast where tectonic plates meet. But the biggest crisis today is water. Look at the Amir Kabir Dam near Tehran. Once full, now nearly empty. 2025 was Iran's driest year in 2 decades. Rainfall dropped 32% nationwide and 90% in coastal regions. Coastal areas that once killed invaders are now killing residents through drought. Around 1 million people migrate annually due to drought, according to Iran Migration Observatory. Protests are frequent in coastal provinces like Khuzestan and Sistan-Baluchistan, regions rich in oil but facing unemployment, infrastructure decay, and water shortages. Investment remains concentrated in Tehran. People argue this is not accidental, but the result of a centralized economic model where resource allocation follows political priorities, not regional balance. Coastal communities bear extraction burdens but receive disproportionate returns. Economic frustration is turning into political resentment. This is no longer just a water crisis, it is a trust crisis. In today's world, wealth does not simply follow geography. Wealth flows through systems, and systems function on trust. Trust that capital will come, trust that choice will not be punished, trust that exit is possible. Dubai had a coast, but coast alone did not bring wealth. Iran also has a coast, but lacks trust. Same Gulf, same sea. 2 different systems, 2 different outcomes. One chose openness, the other chose control. Ports remained empty, cities were never built, beaches became surveillance zones. Iran did not lose its coast, it lost its people's trust. And when trust disappears, a coastline becomes just a strip of water, not a gateway to wealth.